Ted Bundy, a name that still sends chills down the spine of anyone who hears it. A man who confessed to killing more than 30 women, deceived law enforcement across several states, and yet managed to charm an entire courtroom with his words and smile. He wasn't the monster people expected to see. He was intelligent, polite, handsome, and that's exactly what made him so dangerous. Today, we uncover the shocking truth behind the life of Ted Bundy, a man who turned his intelligence into a weapon of pure evil. Welcome to Behind the Crime, where we reveal the stories that hide behind the mask of humanity. Early life and childhood. Theodore Robert Bundy was born in 1946 in Vermont, USA. He grew up in a confusing environment, raised by his grandparents, believing his mother was his sister. This twisted beginning planted deep emotional scars in his mind. At school, Bundy was bright and well-mannered. He studied law, had ambitions in politics, and often volunteered at social campaigns. On the surface, he looked like the perfect young man, but deep inside, he was living a double life, one filled with violent fantasies and dark impulses that would soon take control. The beginning of darkness. Ted's crimes began quietly. He would pretend to be injured, wearing a fake cast or using crutches to lure women into helping him. Once they were close enough, his charming smile vanished, replaced by cold brutality. Bundy's method was always the same: gain trust, isolate the victim, then attack. He was methodical, intelligent, and horrifyingly patient. For years, no one suspected the polite young man could be a killer on the move. By the mid-1970s, Bundy's crimes spread across several states: Washington, Utah, Colorado, and Florida. He adapted his methods every time police got close. He changed names, cars, and even his looks. What made him so terrifying was his ability to blend into normal life, to attend college, make friends, and even date, all while committing unspeakable acts at night. Even after being arrested, Bundy managed to escape from prison. Twice. Once, he jumped out of a courthouse window during his own trial. The second time, he cut a hole in his jail cell ceiling and vanished for weeks. Each escape only made him more infamous and more dangerous. The trial that shocked the world. Bundy's final arrest came in 1978 after a brutal attack at a Florida sorority house. When his trial began, the world watched in disbelief. Here was a killer defending himself in court, smiling at reporters and flirting with female admirers. The courtroom became a stage, and Bundy, the lead actor, he cross-examined witnesses, argued with judges, and gave speeches with the confidence of a politician. But the evidence was undeniable: fingerprints, teeth marks, eyewitnesses. In 1980, Ted Bundy was sentenced to death by electric chair. Even then, he continued to deny or manipulate the truth, confessing to dozens of murders only near the end of his life. Inside the mind of a monster. What made Bundy truly terrifying wasn't just his crimes, it was his psychology. He wasn't insane in the traditional sense. He was fully aware of his actions. Psychologists described him as a narcissist, sociopath, and manipulative genius. He used charm as a weapon, intelligence as camouflage, and empathy as a performance. Bundy's story shows us how evil can hide in plain sight, behind a friendly smile, a confident handshake, or a polite conversation. The final days. In January 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the Florida State Prison. Outside the prison, crowds gathered and cheered, holding signs that read, "Burn, Bundy, burn." For many, it was the end of a nightmare that haunted America for more than a decade. But his story didn't die there. It became a chilling reminder that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look just like us. Lessons from Ted Bundy's life. 1. Evil can wear a smile. Never judge someone solely by their charm or appearance. 2. Mental health and awareness matter. Many violent behaviors grow from untreated trauma and psychological issues. 3. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. 4. Law and justice must evolve. Bundy's case changed how police handle cross-state investigations and profiling. Why he became a criminal, and what we can learn. Ted Bundy's life is a tragic blend of intelligence, trauma, and uncontrolled ego. He became a criminal not because he lacked opportunity, but because he chose power over empathy. His story teaches us that intelligence without conscience can destroy everything. As a society, we must stay alert, strengthen education and mental health awareness, and never glorify evil, even when it's charismatic. This was the true story of Ted Bundy, the charming killer who fooled the world. If you want to hear more real stories from the shadows of history, subscribe to Behind the Crime and stay with us, because sometimes the truth is darker than fiction.